College interviews have always been pretty nerve-wracking, given the obvious stakes. And that was before we'd all spent a year only interacting with other human beings through Zoom. But college interviews aren't all bad. They can actually be a fantastic opportunity for you to share something about yourself, learn about the school, and connect with your interviewer, who can be a huge advocate for you in the admissions office. Hi, I'm Shravya, and welcome back to College Vine. Today we'll be going over 5 things you can do to ace your college interviews, whether in person or on Zoom. First, know your stuff. When you're applying to a bunch of schools, the details of each school can all start to blend together. So before your interview, make sure to do some research on the school you're interviewing with. You want to be able to hold an interesting and informed conversation about the school, and you should be prepared to answer questions like, what makes this school a good fit for you? Or, what's something you hope to bring to the campus community at this school? Being knowledgeable about traditions, programs, culture, and other aspects of the college's environment will help you give clear, specific answers to these questions. And it can help you shape the questions you'll want to ask so that you can get the most out of your interview. We recommend hearing from current students at that school to learn more about what their personal experiences were like. Tip number 2, anticipate common questions. You probably already know how stressful it is to be called on in class when you have no idea how to answer. Fortunately for you, most college interviews use a pretty standard list of questions. Some examples include, tell me about yourself, what are your strengths and weaknesses, and what is your favorite class and why? You can get ahead by practicing some answers beforehand with a friend, parent, or mentor. While you don't want to come across as stiff and rehearsed, having some talking points ready for the most common questions will keep you from stumbling, rambling, or forgetting important details. Remember, these interviews are designed to get a sense of your personality, and being prepared will help that shine through naturally. It'll keep you present in the moment instead of in your head searching for anecdotes and answers. One question you're guaranteed to be asked is, do you have any questions for me? So make sure you have some to ask. Avoid asking questions that are easily searchable on the school's website. Instead, focus on their personal experience at the school, like their favorite parts, least favorite parts, and anything they didn't expect before attending. Alrighty, tip number 3, act professional. As I always say, if you're not early, you're late. It's a good idea to arrive for your interview with some time to spare. That way, you'll have time to use the restroom, get a cup of water, or simply take a few deep breaths to calm your nerves ahead of time. You probably won't be in the right mindset if you arrive right on time, since you'd have rushed to get there and will be stressed about the possibility of being late. You'll also want to look prepared. Our fashion team here at College Vine suggests going for something formal but comfortable. You don't need a full-on suit or a prom dress, but you should dress how you want to be perceived. For example, a button-down shirt, or just about any shirt with buttons, and some kind of chinos or slacks. If you're tempted to wear pajama pants on a Zoom interview, just make sure you don't get caught. Next up is tip number 4, be yourself. Interviews are the only face-to-face portion of the application, but don't let that intimidate you. This is a time for you to express yourself. Of course, you'll want to be personable, and you probably don't want to tell embarrassing or controversial stories about yourself. But you should let the interviewer see you as a student, friend, and member of the community, rather than a repeat of your personal statement or a stiff facade of the person you think they want to meet. And lastly, tip number 5, send a thank you note. Once you've nailed the interview itself, make sure you have their email address and send them a thank you note later that day. This not only shows that you're polite and professional, but also gives you the opportunity to follow up on a point of connection you may have had. Make sure to thank them for their time and for helping you get to know the university a little better. Also, try to mention one thing you talked about, whether that's a book recommendation they gave you, an interesting insight about the school, or something else that was memorable. This will help them remember you. Send the email soon after the interview, before they do their write-up, so all those positive feelings make it into their review. Okay, I know I said 5 tips, but here is one more tip. Don't worry. You already have the tools to give a fabulous interview, and you're worth getting to know. And overall, interviews aren't considered as heavily as the other pieces of your application, like academics or essays. This is in part because not every college offers interviews, and even if they do, not everyone who applies will be interviewed. The main goal of the interview is simply to put a face to your application, so take it seriously, but don't let it stress you out. And that's all we've got for today. If you enjoyed this video, remember to visit our blog, check out our live streams, and like and subscribe below to keep up to date with all our upcoming content. And if you want to know more about college interviews, make sure to create a free account at collegevine.com for more information and resources. Best of luck, and see you next time!